Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, coming again today, you're very, very welcome. How great to see everybody here. I trust you enjoyed my last video on the best guitarist of all time, Jimi Hendrix. And it was only going to be a matter of a time before we paid tribute to that masterful guitarist. So trust you found him encouraging. We're going from there to 1930 in Seleucia, Alabama. Now, this guy is completely different to Jimi Hendrix in so many ways. He did sing in high school and churches, he did actually do some writing and typing for the United Nations in New York City for a while. But when he returned to Chattanooga, he got a bit of a spot on TV doing some hosting. The guy we're talking about is Jim Nabors. Now, you might be thinking, who is this guy? Well, he's got, first of all, a pretty amazing singing voice. The voice is absolutely stunning. And secondly, he played a pretty amazing character that went for 5 seasons. So there you go there. Jim actually learned singing and acting in Santa Monica in just a few plays around there. But it wasn't until he got on the Andy Griffith Show with a one-shot kind of scene where he was this hatless, witless gas attendant. And that character was so well loved. There was such an outcry to see him come back that this guy would get his own TV sitcom series. Gomer Pyle, United States Marine Corps, or USMC. Now, Gomer Pyle, USMC, followed this guy pretty well from the start for 5 seasons. He was, the thing about it, first of all, he had the southern accent, which is pretty endearing. Secondly, he was completely innocent, completely naive. He also mucked things up from time to time, made mistakes, and did all the rest of the stuff that you do when you're a hapless person like this guy was. But every now and then, he would surprise you with some things. And this is what endeared Gomer Pyle to the world audience, absolutely. Gomer Pyle went for 5 seasons, over 150 episodes. This show has some very, very high ratings indeed, which kept it on the TV for so long. So I thought we've got to have some Gomer Pyle clips in there. So just remember 1960s, guys, okay? We've got the introduction. This is when you first see him on stage. He goes and he's totally also very, very confident about things as well. He says he wants to have his hair cut a certain way. Well, of course, in the army, you just get it cut the way you get it cut. And his comment at the end's pretty cool. Move on to another scene involving a skunk. Now, Gomer Pyle just had the way about him, and skunk never did smell for Gomer Pyle, but it did for everybody else. There's a bit of a scene where he lets the skunk into a dormitory, and of course everybody runs out. So we've got an iconic TV scene with a skunk. Then we got Gomer Pyle learns a bully. Now, this is where you see a little bit more to this character. There's more substance to him. And that is he's really got everybody's best interest at heart, including a bully who was laying on his bed. Of course, the bed got mugged up and Gomer Pyle took the blame for it. He got the guy outside and they had a bit of a conversation. The guy kind of thought, yeah, maybe you're right after all. And we get to a bit of a scene where they're doing some basic training. And of course, Gomer Pyle and the bully are in the same ring and what happens there. So pretty iconic clip there of what the sort of character he was, the breadth of the character, just the way that he could do what he could do, and how endearing he was to the world. So we've got Gomer Pyle learns a bully. Now, you can't talk about Gomer Pyle's series without talking about this little song in 1967. This is regarded one of the pinnacles of Jim Nabors' career, when he actually sang The Impossible Dream. Now, The Impossible Dream is from the musical Man of La Mancha. Bit of an interesting story, this one. But when you think about big voices, this song always gets in there. And of course, Jim Nabors was going to give it a go at some point. There's a pretty amazing just lead up to this, and he's lost his voice and he's a bit scared. He's a bit unsure what he's not going to be able to do, but he overcomes that and nails an absolutely stunning performance of the Impossible Dream. Very, very compelling clip, this one. This very, very innocent young guy singing his heart out on stage, and everyone being so proud of him, including his sergeant, who's in Sergeant Carter so many times in this particular show. So we've got 4 clips from Gomer Pyle there. Jim Nabors went on to actually have his own TV show from 1969 to 1971. But before that, he was actually getting on TV himself. We've got a pretty nice clip of him in 1967 singing "You Don't Have to Say You Love Me." There's a bit of a foreign language happening in the verses. Jim's not scared to do that. You can just see how compellingly amazing this guy's voice is as well. Now, Jim Nabors also had a pretty amazing recording career. He had 28 studio albums between 1965 and 2000. So there's a lot of output there. Indeed, estimated to have sold around 1.65 million albums. Now, I do remember my grandparents having a Jim Nabors album, and At the End of the Rainbow is a song that I still remember to this day. We don't have a live version here. We've got a pretty of a static clip. There's just something about the way the song builds. 1970s, absolutely stunning clip, that one. Move forward to 2009, a little bit older in his career. He's just singing Silent Night, and live version, he's still actually got it, singing in front of an orchestra and doing all the stuff that he needs to do. Quite beautiful to see him singing later in his career. Jim, now interestingly, Gomer Pyle did actually get a couple of honorary promotions. One was to Lance Corporal and later to Honorary Sergeant by the 238th Marines' birthday. And so it's good to see the Marines giving one of their heroes, I suppose, a bit of an accolade. So Lance Corporal ended up becoming Sergeant. Jim Nabors did unfortunately leave us in 2017 at the age of 87, so he had a pretty good life. He did receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Alabama Music Hall of Fame as well. And so it's good to see that certainly the industry did acknowledge Jim Nabors for what he's brought to the world. Certainly when Gomer Pyle was around, it was one of the biggest shows going around, and Jim Nabors was just the perfect person to play this hapless, witless, but incredibly brave and courageous character at the same time. We love people like that, don't we? People who are absolutely confident in who they are, people who actually know that the world is a beautiful place. The world is a place that can be beautiful. Our world is a place where we can all really get on with each other. These are beautiful sentiments all the back in 1960s. Of course, late 1960, we had the Vietnam War happen, and so it was all a bit of a thing around that time. But characters like this one just really show us how good humanity can be, and how if we believe in humanity, some beautiful things can happen. So it was great to give a tribute to Jim Nabors today. So the links to those 7 clips in the description below, and I've also included my last video from the iconic Jimi Hendrix, so if you want to recap on him, feel free. Well, if this is your first time to Life Reflections Through Music, or you come back for another one, how great to see everybody here. That's it for today. Next time, we're going to get on to Jackie Wilson. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.